Max Verstappen can bully almost every single person on the grid except Oscar Piastri.
That's what you do when you're a champion. You blame somebody else.
I mean, how stupid does Alpine feel that they let this guy go?
Like, at what point are they just sending Lando film of Oscar Piastri? Like, okay, so this is how you start a race. This is how you pass people.
Tom Felton, a.k.a. Draco Malfoy, said that Lando Norris is actually a Slytherin. What do you think about that?
I'm a red flag heavy hitter. I'm a mailman, baby.
Lovely, wankers. Lovely. Lovely. I love it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Stop.
Demonetized immediately. Let's rock. Simply lovely, Vankas. How about that? The Saudi Arabian GP in Jeddah in the books. This is the Red Flags brought to you by BetMGM. Baby, we're cruising, we're rolling. Smash that subscribe button like Pierre Gasly smashed into Yuki Tsunoda, ruining what would have obviously been a podium performance from Yuki. He would have gotten ahead of, it would have been Oscar first, then Max, then Yuki. Obviously, that's what would have happened.
And we'll never know. We'll never know if you would be wrong.
And we'll never know. Saudi Arabia, dude, in the books. Obviously, it's a big weekend. The story of the weekend is and was Lando Norris's crash in qualifying after the, dominant performance from Oscar last week. People were wondering, how's Lando going to respond? Is he going to come in fighting? And on the warm-up lap of Q3, on the insurance lap, he puts it in the wall, starts 10th, crawls his way back to 4th. Good performance on Sunday, but Lando Norris, once again, making things a lot harder for himself than they needed to be.
Yeah, he's good at recovery drives. He's always banking on that Driver of the Day award.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, I just want to put Lando fans out of their misery at this point and just tell you it's over. It's over. Like, why do you guys insist on pouring water into an empty glass, to a broken glass that just leaks? It just leaks your love and attention. It's just not worth it. And I was saying this on the stream. Where I think what's interesting is Lando doesn't want to change. Lando has his process. I think a lot of the catch-22 that Lando finds himself in is that his vulnerability is a lot of what people like about him. Mm-hmm. How candid he is, how vulnerable he is. I think a lot of people come up to him and say, hey, how open you are, how accessible you are, how honest you are. That's why I like you. That's what makes you, and that's sort of given him license to resist these sort of questions about how candid he is, how open he is, how honest he is, how vulnerable he is. That sort of made him resist that. So, but I've thought about this a lot, and I said this on the stream, which is Lando, I think, and then when anybody criticizes that about him, mm-hmm. You get called out for being toxic, being too macho. This is the 21st century. People should be able to talk about their feelings. But the problem is, Lando is not in real life, right? Lando is in a shoal of sharks. He's a shark among other sharks. Mm-hmm. And when people applaud him for being vulnerable, for being honest, for being open, for being real, you're basically saying, wow, it is so brave that shark decided to stop swimming. It's so brave that this shark, surrounded by other hungry sharks who will eat the weak shark, decided to stop swimming. Is it brave that the shark decided to stop swimming, to stop letting oxygen filter through its lungs, surrounded by other hungry, brutal sharks? Is it brave that he did it? Yes. Will it result in him getting eaten? Yes. So, to the true Lando fans that don't want to see him get eaten, keep swimming, dude. Wait till you're a retired shark and you're not in the shoal and we get you hooked up to some oxygen, and then you could stop swimming. But it's while you're in the shoal of sharks, fucking swim! Dory! Just keep swimming, That's Oscar. What does he do? He plows it. He fucks up. Colossally fucks up. Fucks up way worse than Lando has ever fucked up. Okay? Bins it. In his home race, opening race, what does he do? He just keeps fucking swimming. He doesn't deepen. He doesn't go, stupid, idiot.
Right.
He just keeps going. And you want to know something else that no one's talking about, and we should talk about it right here? Max fucked that startup. No one's talking about how Max fucked that startup. You know what everyone's talking about? Was it 5-second penalty? Because Max doesn't blame himself. Right. He goes straight for the FIA.
Right.
He doesn't blame because he has that. It's never him. It's not his fault. It's the fucking FIA, those fucking bastards. And nobody's talking about how Max fucked that startup. No one.
Yeah, it's true.
Not one person. All the talking heads are going to say, well, I don't know. Was that stop? No. What they should be talking about is Oscar fucking picked his pocket, but no one's going to say that shit because Max didn't go, I'm a fucking idiot. I suck. I shouldn't race. No, he said, fuck the FIA. He put it on somebody else. He said, that's what a winner does. Jesus Christ. But he fucked that startup. He fucked it up. Oscar, great fucking start. Right. Max blew the start. Jesus. That's what you do when you're a champion. You blame somebody else.
But I also I want to kind of qualify some of it because I think that like Lando lambasting himself and saying things about himself that aren't true. I don't know how to drive a Formula One car. Like, I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, none of that's actually true. So, I mean, I guess you could say that it's vulnerable, but it's not necessarily honest. Like, he might be being honest with like, he's not really even being honest with a feeling because like a thought is not a feeling. Like, Lando feels bad. And he's feeling shame. But what he says is, and how that manifests is, I'm an idiot, I'm all this. But, like, there's other ways of being honest. He could say, yeah, like, that was really disappointing. I was disappointed in myself today, but, like, he's saying things about himself that aren't true. So I think the applause for that sometimes is a little bit, like, grating to me. Because I'm like, we're applauding that he's lambasting himself in front of the public and he's being so cruel and mean to himself, as opposed to another option, which is to like learn from your mistakes, pick yourself up by your fucking bootstraps and go back out there and live to fight another day. Like, that's the true vulnerability. I don't think that, like, I have people around me in my life that like when something goes wrong and they just start being like, I'm an idiot, I'm so stupid. I'm like, actually, that's so not what you're feeling. Like, that's so actually far from the thought. That's the safe version of the thought, of the feeling, is I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy mentally. And it's only making this whole situation louder and worse for him and more intense for him. And if he was able to put it behind him and say, yeah, I messed that up, but that doesn't mean that I'm... Like, I don't take that with me. That doesn't confirm something about myself. That doesn't define me. My mistakes don't define
me, yeah.
My mistakes don't define me. And I think you look at Max Verstappen, certainly his mistakes don't define him in his eyes.
Mistake? What mistake? That was the FIA that made that mistake.
Oscar Piastri, first race, spins out, crawls himself back, is in a big points hole. That spin didn't define him. Yuki Tsunoda, early part of his career. People were talking about how he was a hothead, he was this, he was that, blah, blah, blah. What has he done? He's learned from it. He doesn't do that stuff anymore. And he's picked himself up and brought himself into being a better driver. Lewis Hamilton left the magic on in 2021. Lewis Hamilton in 2007 in China drove into the gravel, lost the championship off of a dumb mistake. It was in the wet, but it was still a driver error. Do those things define him? No, because they can acknowledge them. Don't ignore them. I don't think that that's necessarily the best way, but pick yourself up by your bootstraps, get back out there, and live to fight another day. Your mistakes don't define you. And I think it's interesting. He had a good drive today. He had a good drive today. He got to fourth. Maybe could have gotten to third, but he got to fourth. In terms of damage limitation, he did everything that he was supposed to do today. And I think it's interesting now because this next step for Lando, I think, will be interesting. This next chapter of the season, because right now it's Oscar Piastri's championship to lose. He's leading. He's got all the momentum. He's won, 3 races now to Lando's 1. It's his championship to lose. He's actually the one being chased. And we know that Lando likes to chase and not be chased. So what I can only hope is that with maybe some of that pressure taken off of him, because now the spotlight's on Oscar, can Lando, be a little bit less, jittery, a little bit less, punchy, and just settle into himself, go back to Miami where he had his first win, and put something together that and have a great weekend. Can he do that? Can he recover from this? There's still time, but can he do it?
It's a little bit tougher. It's a little bit tougher because Oscar's in the same car.
Of course.
A little bit tougher.
But as we discussed today, we were discussing it on the Patreon because we did if you want to hear more of what we just did for the last 5 minutes, you want to hear an hour of that, go over to the Patreon because Matt and I do a full therapy session on Lando Norris, patreon.com/TRFpod. But Oscar didn't get pole in a better car, in a car that won the Grand Prix today. I think that there's a world where, I still think that Lando might has more talent than Oscar, but doesn't right now have the kind of coolness under pressure that he has. So Oscar put together a lap, but Lando was ahead of Oscar the whole weekend.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you can't do it when it counts.
Of course. But my point is, but Oscar's in the other car. But if Lando actually could have, on his day, gotten that pole, then that's another conversation. Then he's in a different league if he can get rid of the jitters and batten down the hatches.
I just think I don't think you're doing him any favors. None of us are. I think we should all forget about Lando. Just forget about him. It's just forget about him.
Yeah, but you can't. I'm sorry. This is the most high-profile sport. This is what you signed up for. This isn't in a bubble. Max Verstappen hates the attention, but guess what? He deals with it. Max Verstappen would love it if people would stop fucking talking about him. He can't wait to retire and just run a DTM team and be on the internet doing, he doesn't want to do photo shoots. He hates this. But it comes with the territory. There's no world where Lando is ignored. I'm sorry. It just doesn't exist. So he has to play with the cards that he's dealt. And the cards that he's dealt are people are going to be paying attention to his every move.
Yeah, I just mean where Zach Brown, it's Lando Norris season. It's Lando's championship to lose. It's let's put all the attention on Oscar, none of the attention on Lando. Saying now it's Oscar. We know how these narratives can shift. Just make this the narrative. And say Lando's blown it, and he'll probably do better under that narrative that can shift at any moment.
Yeah, so we'll see. Miami's coming up in 2 weeks, and we'll see if he can't put it together there, and he has another bad weekend like this, then it's really okay. Well, then at some point, if he's going to have a fighting chance at winning this championship, or even getting second, because Max Verstappen's right there. Then he's got to change. Something's got to change.
I don't know, dude. I was just wow. That's how you start. I've never seen a start like that from Lando. Just here, Max, here, off the road you go. Off the road you fucking go. Off the road you fucking go. And then that pass on Hamilton? Let's do a split screen on their passes on Hamilton. Hamilton made Lando look so stupid. Hamilton's yeah, why don't you pass me right here? Go ahead. Go ahead. Lando's really? Yes, really. I will let you pass me here. And then he just gets him. Lando's really right before the straight, right before the DRS. And then I'll get you. Then he gets him. And then it's Lando's just catches Lewis with Lando. Lewis is probably God damn, you're passing me right here? Jesus. Just
then he did it again.
Psychopath.
He did it again the next lap. He
Yeah.
does it once. Lewis dummies him, says, right this way, sir. I'll get you. I will see. You'll see my rear end very soon. Then the next lap, he does it again. And then in the third lap, when this engineer was he's just play the game, Lando. Play the game. He figures it out. Lando passes him at the right time. But that's 2 laps now, and they took time off of each other.
Yeah.
You know, that 1.5 seconds at the end there where he was trying to chase Leclerc. There it is. There's your 1.5 seconds.
No, I think a more efficient race, he might have gotten Leclerc.
Totally.
It's like, I don't think that was the best possible recovery. I think the third was there for sure.
I think third was there. I think third was available, but yeah, I think he got caught up with Hamilton. And
Oscar was just like, race. No wasted time. Just goodbye.
Well, what we learned, we learned a lot about Oscar Piastri today, which is that in this moment where he's got all the pressure on him, he says, I don't give a fuck, hold my beer, suck my dick. Max Verstappen, oh, what are you, 4-time world champion? I don't give a fuck. Get off of my racing line.
Yeah.
And
I'm coming through.
Kiss my ass. Sorry, you're going to be watching my rear end all day. Sorry.
Yeah.
I do not care. I do not care. And Max on some level, vibe-wise, has kind of met his match in an Oscar Piastri. I mean, Max was...
Well, he knows he's not going to be able to bully him on that corner.
Right.
He knows.
He can bully almost everyone. Max Verstappen can bully almost every single person on the grid except Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, because you and I were like, we were thinking like hypothetically, we're like, well, Oscar shouldn't be too risky because Max isn't really his competition, you know. Don't go too aggressive. Get him in the aggregate. Undercut him. And it was just like, nah, bitch, I'm going to send it on him. I'm going to fucking send it on him. And everyone, like, I was listening to podcasts, like, everyone was saying, you can't win the race in the first corner, but you certainly can lose it. Like, everyone was saying, that's the kind of narrative. Just fuck it. I'm just
guess what? Guess what? He won the race in the first corner. That's how he won the race today.
He won in the
That's
first corner.
That's how he won the race.
Yeah.
I mean,
Max
never
would have caught Max. He never would have caught
Max. Max had pace today. Max was right there with him. You know, Oscar didn't sail off into the distance. He didn't win by 15 seconds. He won by a handful of seconds. Max had pace today. That Red Bull was fast. They have more straight line speed than the McLaren. Anyway, like, that car is hooked up for straight line speed, especially on these kinds of tracks. And so, no, I don't think Oscar would have. I think Oscar would have gotten second, and then Lando would have gotten fourth, and that gap is not there. But Oscar Piastri, bold, amazing start, sends it up the inside, and pushes Max Verstappen off track. And Max didn't want to give that place back, baby. He said, no. And we were talking, you know, it's interesting. That penalty was interesting because what you want to see, ideally, is not a 5-second penalty. You want to see them force him to give the place back. Because what all the evidence is saying, what everyone was saying, despite Christian Horner being in the press, you know, going to the stewards and going to the FIA with printed out sheets of that corner after the race and saying, no. Like, they apparently Red Bull might contest, but it seems like everyone who knows what they're talking about says, no, that was Oscar's corner. That was, you know, his position. But Max should give him that position. There shouldn't have to be a 5-second penalty. And I think the reality is, and we were talking about this on the stream, is that, like, a 5-second penalty is not enough of a punishment to force a driver to give up a position.
Well, clean air is too good.
Clean air,
especially for first.
Totally. And Max, you know, had built up. There was a period there where I was like, is Max just gonna, like, he'll take that 5-second penalty any day as opposed to the track position. But if that penalty was 10 seconds, and if drivers knew, hey, if I don't give this place back, like, this is going to ruin my race, then you actually get on track. You have a chance to watch Max try to overtake Oscar in the beginning. You have a chance to, you know, that's what it should be, but that penalty's not harsh enough.
Yeah, but if he had given the place back, would it have been a race anyway?
I mean, no, but it wasn't really one anyway. I mean, this track is kind of, you know, it's like these narrow tracks with these big fat cars just, like, don't work. And especially now that the dirty air is what it is.
Yeah.
And the tires, you know, a big thing that seems to be happening this season is that these Pirelli tires have gotten too good, so they don't degrade anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to have tire strategy or real variables when, like, any one of these guys could just, like, take a medium the whole race. Like, you don't, when the mediums don't degrade, when the hards don't degrade, when you can run a soft for, like, 20 laps, which they arguably maybe could have done it if someone had done it today, like, you know, you don't have an opportunity for any of that shit. So I think, and now this year they're going one grade below last year. Like all these
Still
tracks,
not enough. Still not enough.
They need to go 2 grades below. I need to see these tires degrading quickly. They need to be able to, because the drivers were complaining apparently to Pirelli that, it's hard. Like I can't push it. I can't be flat out because I'm managing the tires. But like they feel that. We don't necessarily feel that. All I know is that it's actually interesting to watch a guy manage his tires. It's interesting that when they're pushing, it's like, this is ripping up those tires. Like, I, as a fan, I'm actually more interested in that than, like, watching them, quote-unquote, go flat out. Especially
because if everyone's going flat out, and all the cars are pretty similar, and they're on the same tires, you're not going to get any overtaking.
You get boring races like the one we had today.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what
But
if
everyone's managing, then you're not going to get overtaking. So it's kind of it's a bit of a tough balance.
You won't necessarily get overtaking, but you'll get more tire strategy, and you'll get more stuff happening in the pit stops, and then you'll get like undercuts, and you'll get people really pushing, and you'll get like
more
it
diversity in this track.
Yeah, exactly. Bankers, this episode is brought to you by BetMGM. Come see what's new at BetMGM. Score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up with BetMGM today and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look, same game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. This is an exciting season. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, who's going to finish? Who's going to win each race? Where's Yuki Tsunoda going to wind up? You can bet on all this with BetMGM, so do it today. Use the bonus code DADDY when signing up, and again, receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. See you out there, Vegas.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so the start was electric. It's just like, I was joking, but it's just like, at what point are they just sending Lando film of Oscar Piastri? Be like, okay, so this is how you talk. This is how you start a race. This is how you pass people.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you and this is when you make a mistake. This is how you handle it. You don't say shit.
Right.
Even when Oscar, you're so right. When Oscar made that mistake in Australia, he goes, "I'm not feeling too great right now."
Yeah.
It's just like,
he didn't say,
that's honest.
He didn't blame, he didn't pull a Max Verstappen and say, it's the rain's fault, it's the tires, it's, it's like he took ownership.
And he was honest about how he was feeling. Yeah.
Totally.
He said, I'm not feeling too great right now.
Though I will say that now that Oscar Piastri's leading this championship, he was starting to get a little bit more expressive on the radio.
Yeah, about the red light.
I mean, it's all relative. Oscar Piastri's version of expressive is like, that red light's really annoying me.
Oh, these blue flags need to get out of the way.
Yeah, the dirty air is kind of not ideal, guys. I was like, ooh, that's Oscar Piastri's version of like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Oscar being like, oh, this red light, I keep thinking it's a red flag. Can we do something about it, guys?
There was some Instagram account that said Yachts Verstappen in the second row, and it's like flashing the red lights.
Yeah. And then after the race, even when he was after the race, he was like, woohoo! And I was like, what? Was that a woohoo from Oscar Piastri? I'm sorry.
Letting his hair down. I still felt that was a bit performative. He's like, this is what he like read it in a book. Like, this is what humans do when they're excited. They give a little whoop. Whoop.
Yeah.
He is terrifying.
Well, he's going to be on a lot of podiums this year, maybe every single one, and he very likely right now is going to win this championship. And we were talking today on the stream with Emily Selleck. We were talking about the last Australian that was on podiums and doing stuff was Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
And he had the shoey. Daniel had the shoey. What's Oscar's celebration going to be? What's Oscar's signature celebration? And I was like, Oscar Piastri isn't going to do a signature celebration. The Oscar Piastri signature celebration is like, Yeah, it was a good race. It was good. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I'm happy. Like,
yeah.
It's so like him on a podium.
It's the awkward like, aw shucks. It's like a bit of an aw shucks.
Daniel Ricciardo's like, drink out of my dirty shoe.
Yeah.
Drink it, Bottas. Drink it, Zach. Yes. Oscar's like, yeah, he's good. It's good.
It's good.
Good race. Good race. Yeah, I want to be the champion. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it was a brutal. It was a. Can you imagine? Like Leclerc fought so hard to get on this podium, and now he's just in the most brutal green room. He's with like a homicidal Max who's just sitting there. He's sitting there with this like Donald Trump pout, just like just so upset. And then he's with Oscar, and they're all just kind of. That was so awkward when they played the replay of the incident.
Mm-hmm.
Just silence, and then honestly, even though Oscar is giving robot, he has like some emotional intelligence, because then he changed the subject. He quickly he saw the incident, and then he quickly turned to Leclerc and was like, "So you having trouble with your steering wheel, or those mediums were fast?" You know, like he was like he completely changed the subject to try to move it along. It was such a smart move, and then like Leclerc tried to start a conversation with Max, and Max was like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Sorry, what?
But,
I was having to do box breathing to not jump across this table and strangle Oscar Piastri. I mean, Max was so mad after the race. Max was furious. I mean, he like shook Oscar's hand for like a second, and then was immediately like, all right, fuck off. Leclerc, buddy, friend, I'm never talking to Oscar Piastri again. Yeah, and then in the cool down room.
Is he mad at Oscar, or is he just mad at the fucking rules that he has to give?
I think he's mad at the penalty.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's a dude out here who's not afraid of him. There's a dude out here who left him no room.
Who stands up to the bully?
Who's standing up to the bully. Like, Max can't be thrilled. I don't think Max is loving Oscar Piastri right now.
No. I mean, this is really the McEnroe Borg. It's fire and ice right now.
Right. Yeah,
Jenny writes, Oscar and George standing up to the bully. Okay. George says things that stand up to the bully. Oscar literally just does it.
Oscar doesn't say shit. Oscar's nice. Oscar changes the subject. Oscar doesn't. Yeah. Hey, Max is mad. I'll give him his space.
Yeah.
When Max is mad, George Russell loves to come out there and be like, "Hey, man, what's going on? What's going on, dude?" Like, George is all bark. Oscar Piastri is all bite.
Zizzle bite. Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog with its vocal cords. Its cords. He doesn't bark. He's just a quiet dog that just bites the shit out of you. No warning.
It's Oscar Piastri's championship right now. He's in the driver's seat. He's got all the momentum. Lando is, who knows where he'll be week to week. Certainly right now, if you're putting money on who's going to make more mistakes this year, is it Oscar Piastri or Lando Norris? Your money's obviously on Lando Norris. And that
I don't
car's
think
so
Max
fast.
is out of this. I really don't. I think if these upgrades hit and the flexi wing damages McLaren a little bit, and if Lando and Oscar can damage each other enough, I don't think Max is out of this.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Right now, Max has 87. Oscar's got 99.
He's not out of it. It's a long season.
He's definitely not out of it. Yeah.
But, Oscar now has more wins than Lando does. Brutal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 3-1 on the wins.
Because it's interesting. Like, what do you think is happening? It's just, did he just do a lot of work over the summer? They changed the car a little bit over the winter. They changed the car a little bit.
McLaren.
Pressure is getting to Lando. It's like a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's like all of those factors.
Yeah, I think it's a cocktail of a lot of things. I think that they have made changes to the car. So Lando is like a little bit less comfortable in it. But I also think that like right now the pressure's on Lando, which is also uncomfortable for him. And I think that like we talked about it for years. Lando likes to chase, not be chased. Even last year, like his clutchest performance was at the end of the year when it wasn't about him. Like it was for the team. Like there was a separation there that I think that he could like get behind. It's like, I'm not just doing this for me. Sometimes it's actually really awkward to like advocate for yourself. honestly, like, you know, as I'm an actor, and like a lot of times, like, I had pressure in my career doing things where I'm like, I gotta like promote the thing that I'm in. I gotta like me front and center, me. And I never felt comfortable doing that. And then when we started this podcast, and it wasn't just me, it was us, and it was this product, and it was this thing outside myself, then I became like the biggest, you know, PR whore that you ever met. Like, I would see people in the streets of New York wearing like a Red Bull hat, and I'd be like, I would stop them on the street and say, you have to listen to my podcast. You have to listen to it.
And it came off, and it didn't come off as corny or pushy.
I didn't feel cringe doing it. I did it. I mean, like, I felt like I really have something to offer you. Like, if you're a Formula One fan in America, you don't have, like, you need us. Like, you're going to love our podcast.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I would never, you know, when I was on an HBO show, I was on The Deuce, the coolest, you know, project, one of the coolest projects I've ever been a part of. I wouldn't stop someone on the street and be like, you have to watch the TV show that I'm on. You know what I mean? Like, never in a million years would I say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, I do think that he will, now that I think there will be a little bit of pressure off him as the focus goes to Oscar. We'll see how he responds to that. Anyway,
I think we thought it was crazy.
Norris.
We thought it was crazy when I was like, wow, like they're giving Oscar the money now. Doesn't seem so stupid anymore.
Totally. Dude, could you imagine if Oscar Piastri was at Alpine right now? I mean, how stupid does Alpine feel that they let this guy go? Because right now, Alpine has 6 points. They have 6 points. They arguably have the 5th best car.
Yeah, easily.
Like, they should be right there with Williams.
Yeah.
Like, they should be Williams right now in the standings. Williams is at 25. Alpine is tied for last, tied with Sauber at 6 points because they don't have two drivers.
He should be on that team. It's a crime. Someone should be in French jail. Otmar and the executives at Renault should be in French prison. The
Truly.
French, because that was a part. It was a partially. Yeah. The team was partially owned by the French government. The French should do a Les Mis and storm the Bastille and throw Otmar. And Otmar should be taking his selfies from French prison. That's what should be happening.
Because the reality is, part of why Oscar's so great is that Alpine gave him so much time in Formula One cars. They put millions. They really did. They put millions of dollars into making sure that he was F1 ready from the jump, similar to Kimi Antonelli. Like, that's why when that whole thing went down, like, Alpine was like, wait, we put millions of dollars into you. What the fuck? But it's like, you gotta shit or get off the pot. And it was all because they wanted to keep Alonso, who they lost as well. It would be another. It was like they lost both. It was like they lost him over Alonso, who is not there either. One of the most, like, will go down in history as the most legendary, like, botched, you know, job of a Formula One team is letting a talent like Oscar Piastri get fucking stolen from under your nose. I mean, Zach Brown looking like a genius, Mark Webber, manager of and his wife, manager of a lifetime. Yeah. But it's interesting because, you know, I don't think they were ever satisfied with just Lando. You know, they had Carlos Sainz and Lando, and then Carlos Sainz left, and they're like, all right, we need Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah. Then Daniel Ricciardo left. And then they that makes Zach look less smart because he thought this is the guy. Of course, but it goes to what you're saying, that they were like wanting a poppy two drivers. They didn't want a 1-2 situation. Like, all the evidence was saying that Daniel Ricciardo is still a top F1 talent when he went to McLaren. But they've never been like, Lando, it's your team. It's always been Daniel Ricciardo. It's always been. They've always attempted for it to be a two-driver team. Always. Right. It's always been their goal. Well, now it's a one-driver team. It just went the other way. No, but think about it. It's if you're developing the car and Oscar's like, you know, I want a little more rear end, and Lando's like, I want a little less rear end.
You going to give it to the guy who shits his pants at qualifying, or are you going to give it to like when it becomes a binary choice like that? And I don't know what they do. I think they probably can't do this right now, but who gets the parts first if they only have one set of parts? I think at this point they have to be like, we give them to both of them, or we just hold them back. Because last year Lando got the parts first. Yeah.
No, Lando got despite the papaya rules and despite the times where Oscar, picked Lando's pocket, like Lando got the priority treatment last year. And yeah, I do think at some point those decisions are going to have to be made. Who's going to get priority? Who's going to get the toe during qualifying? Who's going to get the new front wing? Who's going to get the new suspension? All that shit. And hey, the numbers will dictate it after a certain point. Like if Lando's not leading this championship, he ain't getting the parts.
It's tough though, because I think the T is that Zach is a big Lando guy,
right?
And Stella's a big Oscar
guy, right?
So it's tough.
Yeah, but Zach's also a winning guy. I mean, there was I don't know if you saw this. I was watching the post race coverage and they showed this clip of Zach like going into the into the driver like press briefing area, and just like Oscar was in the corner and Zach just like comes up behind him and like gives him like a boom like from behind, just like a little like fucking mini tackle. It's just
he's
like
got such Chris Farley energy.
It's Chris
He's got
Farley,
such
David
fat
Spade.
guy in a little coat, and like it's like him with two David Spades all the time.
Yes.
Fat guy in a little coat.
And then he's like, "Come here!"
Yeah.
Shake. Oscar's just like, "When will it end? When will it end? When will it end? When will it end? When will it end?" Come here, you little Australian freak! I love you. Oscar's like, "Yes, yeah, okay."
Yeah. What a nightmare for a boss. What a nightmare for a boss if you're like Oscar or Orlando.
Right. I'd love to have Zach Brown as a boss. You could not pick a guy who was like more like, "What do I do with you?"
No, you and I would love having him as a boss.
Totally.
Laugh at all his inappropriate dad jokes.
Right.
They would just cringe. Ooh.
Being so cringe.
He's so cringe. Because we grew up with men like him.
Yeah.
We grew up with men like him.
All right, guys, we're here to talk about our favorite sponsor, Dollar Shave Club. It's no surprise that facial hair is personal. It grows on your face. We all grow it, shave it, style it differently, and we think that's pretty fucking great. It all makes us more interesting. That's why in this club, we make the razors and you make the rules, baby. That's right. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Dollar Shave Club just made razors, but they do so much more than that. Whether you're going smooth shaven or maintaining a beard, Dollar Shave Club offers shave and grooming products that are always high quality and never, ever overpriced. Let me introduce you to some of their top sellers that we're going to make your grooming routine feel like a spa. First up, we got the Dollar Shave Club Series 6 Blade Razor. This isn't just any razor, okay? It's like a mini vacation for your face. With 6 stainless steel blades and vitamin E infused lubricant strip, the razor delivers the closest, most comfortable shave imaginable. It's so comfy, your skin might want to just take a nap afterwards. Plus, the precision trimmer is perfect for those little detail areas because we know how important those are. Also, they have an amazing series of products that prep your skin for your shave and take care of it after. We got the shave butter. It's the top-selling shaving aid. It's true. I use it, and it's so much more helpful than when you put all the white, puffy gunk on your face because you're like, am I even getting this stuff? This goes on clear, so you can see exactly where you're shaving. But don't take our word for it, Vegas. Try it for yourself. At Dollar Shave Club products are now available everywhere, so you can order them from their website, Amazon, or get them at your favorite retailer near you. Alternatively, you can visit their site right now for 20% off, $20 or more. Get your products delivered right to your door. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/Red Flags and use the promo code Red Flags to get 20% off, $20 or more. And remember, whenever you shave, welcome to the club. Vegas, we're taking a quick break to talk about our newest sponsor, Huel. Huel is so much more than just a protein drink. It is everything that your body needs. And new customers visit Huel.com/redflags today and use our code REDFLAGS to get 15% off your first order, plus a free gift. All Huel meals and bars provide 27 essential vitamins and minerals, plus 100% nutritionally complete balance of protein, essential fats, carbohydrates, and fiber. They now have a product for every occasion, whether it's a meal on the go, a nutrient-rich drink, or a protein-packed snack. My favorite is the strawberry banana. It's delicious, tastes like a milkshake, and when I drink it, I'm so much less tired because of all the B12 that it has in it to reduce tiredness and fatigue. And Lord knows I get tired doing this podcast, so I use Huel to keep me fueled up, baby. It also has vitamin C to support the immune system and contains so many other nutrients like the right amount of protein, essential fats, carbs, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. I like Huel because it requires no prep or cooking. I'm a busy guy. I'm on the go. I'm going to F1 races. Huel is the perfect way to keep me fueled up, so I like to have it when I'm busy. And yeah, it's perfect when I don't have time to cook or if I need just a little extra pick-me-up for my day. The best part, it's also affordable with high-protein meals under $5. Try Huel with 15% off plus a free gift for new customers today using my code REDFLAGS at Huel.com/redflags. Fuel your best performance with Huel today. I mean, we could talk about this crash. Yuki Tsunoda, Pierre Gasly, freaking besties going into the wall together.
Yeah, that's what happened. He came at the king. So that's what happens.
Pierre Gasly, what do you think you're doing trying to pass Yuki Tsunoda in a Red Bull?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you thinking? Although Pierre Gasly, I got to give it to him. Right now, he's having probably one of the more impressive seasons in F1.
Is he having an impressive season or is doing just ass? We don't know.
Maybe maybe a little bit of both. We're not sure right now. It seems like
put
he's
Oscar
pulling off
Piastri in
miracles.
Alpine. Is he having a great
Right.
It's like I hate to say it, but remember what we used to say about Albon?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Albon driving the crap out of that car. Now it's looking like he wasn't. Maybe now that Sainz has maybe come to grips of it, it's like is Alex Albon is Pierre Gasly great, or is he driving with a Logan Sargent? I don't think doing's that bad. He's closer in qualifying, but man, it's hard to say.
No, I think obviously he looks better than maybe he would if he had a teammate who was more on his level. But
yes,
as we said about Albon, because last year you were like, he's a fraud, his teammate sucks, so thus he sucks. I mean, listen, we know that Carlos Sainz is like a top.
Say A- driver.
An A- driver. We know that Carlos Sainz is damn good.
Yeah.
Like Carlos Sainz, we're watching Lewis Hamilton get blown out by Charles Leclerc right now. And Carlos Sainz has had the same amount of time in a new car, and he's figuring it out. So, but also Albon's right. I mean, they finished next to each other today. I mean, it's not like, I think that like what I said in the beginning of the year is that it will be close, but I think that Albon's going to ultimately win, and we'll see if that's true. But like, I'm not proven wrong yet.
What was that radio? That was just an amazing moment where they were like, where Albon was getting a little too close for comfort with Sainz.
Yes,
and they were like, Albon, Alex, just be wary of your front tire. That front tire graining is like, or is like code for like back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. And then Alex Albon was like, you might not have noticed, but there's another fucking car behind me. God, he's such a sassy little bitch. He's so sassy. Yeah. He's so sassy. They're like, oh, don't come near precious Alex. And then they told Alex Albon later, like, hey, can you give Albon DRS? Because Hadjar was a menace that race. Hadjar was a menace. I mean, we were doing a stream. I had how the hell Liam Lawson out-qualified Hadjar, and then all of a sudden he's behind him. And he's got a 10-second penalty. I don't know what happened to that kid.
Did Liam Lawson out-qualify Hadjar?
Yes, I think so. Jenny, can you check that? Pretty sure.
No, you did. No, you're right. He did. You're right. 12th and 14th.
Yeah, no. He out. So Liam Lawson out-qualified Isaac Hadjar. And so I was like, okay, this is a step in the right direction. And then somehow Hadjar beats him in the race. And Lawson gets a 10-second penalty. Devastating. He's got, Lawson's got to turn this around because one of those seats is going to Arvin Lindblad soon.
Yeah,
maybe this year.
He won the F2 race there.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, Jesus. Maybe this year.
Yeah.
So he's got to hurry it up. He's got to hurry it up and start getting on top of this Hadjar kid. It's not looking good. But, Hadjar was menacing Albon, and they told Sainz, hey, Sainz, can you let Alex into your DRS? And he goes, you guys are being paranoid. Paranoid. Now I want to say something about the Williams organization real quick. James Vowles said about Max Verstappen, speaking on behalf of Mercedes, because he's like defending Mercedes. It's like, dude, you don't work there anymore. But it's like he wants that job when Toto retires.
Right.
So transparent. I fucking read you like a book, bitch. Max, he comes with a lot. Like, just stop talking, dude. Max, he comes with a lot of downsides as well that we have to acknowledge. And I think that Mercedes is a great culture with two drivers that are delivering near to the peak of the car, and with one that's on the way up. Max has a lot of downsides, dude. You were sucking your own dick when you signed Carlos Sainz. How fast would you get rid of both of them for Max Verstappen?
Right.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break. It's so ridiculous.
If I'm Max Verstappen, I'm like calling Williams and being like, hey, would you be interested in me driving for you next year? Just like to prove a point.
Yeah.
Like, let's take a meeting. And then in the meeting being like, fuck you, I'll never drive for you. I mean, yeah, it's like you're out of the relationship and you're like, you shouldn't date that guy. Like, seriously. Like, you're telling your ex who they should date.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. You left me. Now I can fuck whoever I want. You don't get to say who I get to spend my time with.
Yeah, also it's like Toto Wolff tried desperately to get him. So why are you justifying it's like you're justifying his rejection of Toto Wolff? Like what are you doing?
Right.
It's so dumb. And guess what? Let's say you are running Mercedes in a couple of years. You think Max is going to forget that you said that?
Right.
It's dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
Just shut your mouth.
Yeah, we know that Max has like a list.
Guess what? Fred Vasseur might get fired. It's totally possible. Guess who might, wouldn't be who might be at the top of the next list to get hired? James Vowles. You know who might end up at Ferrari one day? Max Verstappen.
Yep.
It's like, idiot.
Yeah.
Idiot. Why would you diss the greatest driver on the grid? Like the best driver on the grid. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
It's also like, listen, do I think that there are some downsides to Max? Sure. Do I think that Jos Verstappen can be kind of chaotic in whatever environment? Sure. But there's downsides to every driver. No driver is only upside, but Max's skill far outweighs whatever downside James Vowles is talking about. This dude is generational. This dude is Senna. This dude is Hamilton, Schumacher, Fangio. I mean, we're talking about an all-timer here. So yeah, guess what? Senna came with some downsides too. There was chaos in a lot of those Senna fucking pit. Schumacher came with downsides too. Trying to fight people in the fucking garage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he was a teammate killer. That was always a one-car team.
And Schumacher, guess what? The Mercedes organization started with Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher used to take a shit in the one bathroom so that Nico Rosberg had to rush, would not be able to go to the bathroom before the race. He told that story to Daniel Ricciardo on Nico's podcast, which is the only other F1 podcast that's allowed to exist. That Schumacher would play endless mind games with Nico Rosberg is in those early Mercedes days.
His teammate. You know what, Brian? It's interesting. You said that every driver has their downsides. You know what every driver's downside is? They're not Max Verstappen.
Every other driver's downside.
Every other driver's downside is that they're not Max Verstappen. Because I was watching qualifying and I'm like, he's better. He's better than every other driver. Like, the McLaren is the best car, yet he's putting it on pole. He's just better. He's better than Lando. He's better than Oscar. If you put him in the McLaren, he would. I think he would crush them.
The Red Bull might have the fourth best car right now.
Third. And that definitely not, maybe in qualifying, maybe not in race pace. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Like, LeClerc, they had good race pace today. They don't like Ferrari doesn't have quali pace, which it seems like on certain tracks the Red Bull has. But we see what that Red Bull does in other scenarios. That when Max Verstappen's finishing, like that guy gets everything out of that damn car, and he's beating a McLaren. He's beating Oscar Piastri in qualifying. This dude is generational. Yeah.
It's almost kind of depressing in a little way. It's almost kind of depressing that, like, does it depress you that if Oscar wins a championship, it's like, well, he's not the best driver. This is like the first time.
Yeah.
This might be the first time in our lives of watching this sport where we're like, well, the best driver didn't really win.
Right.
Like, I think if Lewis had won in like both of them were like, whoa, they're both so good. Like either one could, and they both have really fast, right? They're both kind of at these two guys at the peaks of their powers where it's like,
right.
And when Max won, you kind of had the feeling that he was the best guy. But like if Oscar wins, it's like he was the best guy in the best car. And he beat Lando Norris, which is great. But like the best guy didn't win.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. I guess my only consolation is that like the best guy won the last four. So I would be like, all right, I still, and Max is, doing his best to be there. But this might be, it's like if Max can keep it close and almost win, in this car that shouldn't even be there, it'll give kind of like Alonso in those, Ferrari years when like, damn, he really like, he drove the shit out of a car that was so not there. And so, and sometimes like that's as remembered as the winner of those seasons. So
right, but it's like it reminds you that sometimes you're watching a heavyweight fight, but then you realize, oh, like one fighter had just gloves with lead blocks in them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what that's what F1 is sometimes.
Right.
And it's like, oh, Max went 10 rounds, which is awesome, and then he gets knocked out.
Right.
By Oscar, who is a great fighter, but he had lead blocks in his gloves. Like, obviously, he probably was going to win.
But what you want to see there is, like, I just hope that it's close enough that, like, you can get those pressure-filled things. Because, like, a lot of times, there'll be championships where, like, that was so not the best team, but they put it together at the end. They were able to, like, kind of get there. I just hope that it can be close enough that it's interesting and that there can be, like, that there's a real fight this year. The fear is that it won't be, and that Oscar will just start building on this lead. There'll be enough tracks where the Red Bull's kind of nowhere, and that Max can't pull off a miracle.
And Lando won't bring it to him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
dude. What about that? What about that moment when Bortoleto almost crashed into Fernando Alonso, his manager?
Dude, I've thought about doing that to my reps. I think a lot of people in LA were that watched that race were applauding. Like, yeah, take that fucking succubi out. Take him out.
Here's your 10%. Fuck you.
Here's your 10%. Fuck you.
I mean, that was wild. That almost really threw the full spanner into the works for that race, because if that had happened, like Lando and Charles were 1-2 at that point, it would have brought out a safety car. This would have been a whole other race if they had actually collided in that moment.
Oh, it would have been amazing. It would have made the whole race. This race needs that. That's the whole point of these walls. You need
this race needed that, yeah.
But he almost fucking killed him. Like, that's like an airplane crash right there.
Right. Well, he had no idea that he was there. He was just like a guy like on the highway, singing like, and I'm free falling for shit,
changing lanes.
Yeah, changing lanes, not looking at your mirror.
You know what's the scariest thing that's happened sometimes is when you ever check to see if the lane's clear.
Yeah,
you check to see if the lane next to you is clear. And you go to change lanes, but what you don't check is the next lane over is coming in, and then you look and you're like, oh my god,
yeah.
That's always terrifying when that happens. That's like a fatality. That's like, well, they haven't really figured out how to fix that.
Yeah.
When you're on a multi-lane highway, but that's what almost happened. Yeah, and Oscar had a joke. He's like, and I was like, damn, he's flying in Fernando's plane. That's
Yes.
brutal. He said, "Oh
Yeah,
my
because-
God, that's
yeah,
Gabby too." He goes, I guess got to find a new flight home. I mean, Oscar's like, make it small talks. He's really commanding the space in the green room.
Yeah, I mean, that's if they had touched. I mean, it is this crazy dynamic that Fernando Alonso is managing a driver and he's racing against that driver and he's maybe crashing into that. I mean, it's just like this crazy incestuous conflict of interest zone. I mean, Toto Wolff managing Esteban Ocon. You know, it's like why?
Flavio managing Alonso. I mean, it's just filled with conflicts of interest. It's crazy.
It's like, why is a
why
Formula
are these
One
things
driver
allowed?
managing another Formula One driver? Dude, that's like if LeBron James was managing Luka Doncic's career.
Brian, that's a terrible example because LeBron James has a management company and does exactly that.
Dude, this whole game is fucked up.
He's
dude.
clutch. Baker, can you
right.
text? Tell me I'm wrong. He managed
No, I
AD.
think you're right.
He managed AD. He literally AD was a client. He brought fucking.
Why
AD
is this allowed? That should not be allowed.
Because it's sports, and you're allowed to be a little corrupt in sports.
That's insider trading in sports. Yeah, clutch.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm stupid because
You're like,
LeBron
that
James,
would be as preposterous as a thing that actually happens.
what the
That
fuck?
would be as preposterous as our president tariffing penguins. It's like, well, I got news for you, Brian. You should check the news, dude. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be allowed.
Dude, are you learning about clutch sports for the first time? That's fucking
Yeah, I don't pay
hilarious.
attention. I pay attention to one thing now, which is fucking
Yeah.
Formula One.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to
That's weird.
basketball, even though the Knicks won last night. Let's go Knicks. I know.
Yeah.
Right now, I know one thing about basketball, which is that fuck the Detroit Pistons. That's all I care about.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah. Speaking of Aston Martin,
Yeah.
offering Max apparently $300 million.
Which I'm like, I had heard a bill, so
I know.
what the fuck happened? Sorry.
It's
I'm
amazing
supposed to be-
what anchoring does in negotiations.
Yeah.
Like you hear $1 billion, and now I hear $300 million. I'm like, what the fuck? Don't
I'm
take
sorry.
Max. Don't take that.
I'm sorry. I had heard it was supposed to be $1 billion, and now I'm supposed to get out of bed for $300 million. Fuck that. Especially when Lewis Hamilton is out here getting 700. I don't think so.
That's
to me,
bullshit.
that's not an enticing offer. Now, if that 300, like Adrian Newey, comes with ownership, part ownership in the team, that's different. There's back end there. But if it's just like a straight up 300 mil, I'm like, that is underpaying Max Verstappen.
Well, it's crazy because dude, they got Adrian Newey for $30 million. I'm like, that's nothing.
Well, and stock and ownership.
Okay, but $30 million, that's nothing. Cash cash in hand, like that $30 million cash for the greatest designer ever.
I don't think that you appreciate that. Like the ownership in the thing is Toto Wolff is a billionaire because he owns 33% of Mercedes.
Yeah, because he got in when he got in when it was useless. Dude,
yeah,
Eddie George.
Sure. So yeah, but so did it. We could say be saying that about Adrian Newey as well. And if they get Max Verstappen, we saw how much Ferrari's fucking stock price went up after they signed Lewis Hamilton.
I don't know.
What do you think would happen
Me-
to Aston Martin if they signed Max Verstappen?
Does Max Verstappen look like the kind of guy who's like, yeah, let me widen my stock portfolio? He looks like a guy. He's Dutch. He's like, I like gold. Like all his shit is gold. Like just give him cash.
I don't know. He owns his own. He owns Verstappen Racing. I think
It's VerstappenRacing.com, Brian. Get it?
The most boomer name ever.
Yeah.
He's such a fucking boomer.
No, it's because Yost started it like 900 years ago.
Yeah, during the .com boom.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think that would be the only way that they sweeten that. That'd be how they have to sweeten that deal, because maybe they're not flush in terms of like cash right now, but what they can offer him is part ownership of the team. But yeah, I'm not impressed with your $300 million offer. I'm not impressed
It's
with
the
it.
Aston Verstappen Racing.
That's right.
Lewis 700. Max should get at least 7.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the argument is he doesn't have the same marketing potential as Lewis does. I don't know.
I think he's got a pretty big marketing potential. I think Lewis is obviously on a whole other level, but I feel like people know, like, globally about Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Like, if you're aware of F1 at all the last 5 years, those are the two names that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get into our awards? Let's do hottest moment of the day.
It's got to be...
What do you think?
It's got to be Oscar's overtake on Louis.
On Lewis.
Yeah.
Going to the dusty part of the track. Like, no one overtook there.
Next to the wall. Come on.
No one overtook there.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, except for me. That's where I'm like, if Oscar wins this, maybe I'm like, Max is better, but like when Oscar pulls off shit like that, I'm like, this dude, you keep doing that, no one's gonna have any qualms with your greatness. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's see what else we got. Daddy of the day.
Apparently Anthony Hamilton's out here doling out hugs again.
Was he?
I think so.
I missed that.
I mean, maybe Oscar just fucking making Lando his fucking son.
Yeah. Someone wrote Mark Webber filming Oscar on the podium.
That was a big dad move.
It was such a dad move. He's like,
that was such a dad move.
And then he like shows it. He shows it to people, and they're like, "Yeah, like I saw it on TV with the cameras, with the professional cameras,
with the high res cameras." He's like, "Yeah, fuck Red Bull, stick it up, jam it up their ass, jam it up their fucking ass."
Yeah.
Speaking of Red Bull, I just want to add. Well, this is an honorary red flag. Sebastian Vettel coming out to support Lando Norris and his honesty and openness.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian saying, "I think it's really brave. I think he has my support." I'm like, "Fuck you, Seb. You would have eaten him for fucking lunch back in the day. You're like this nice uncle now.
Mm-hmm.
You like talk about mental health and you save the bees and all this shit now. But when you were winning, when you were good, you were a prick. You were a fucking prick. And if you were 22, you were back at Red Bull and you saw Lando doing this stuff, you would be licking your fucking chops. So it just shows it's rank hypocrisy is what it is.
Lando Norris's biggest problem in life right now is a guy who's managed by the guy that you destroyed, who has a vendetta against people like you for taking advantage of people who are nice.
Right. Oscar Piastri actually exists solely because Sebastian Vettel was such an asshole to him. Mark Webber was built in the furnace of Sebastian Vettel.
Yes.
That's the irony.
That would be like, it's almost as if he said last year in Hungary, he's like, good on Lando for giving back that place. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Really is. Really is. Team orders are so important to listen to. They really are. They really are. It's like,
that's what you need. You cannot have a team unless the drivers cooperate with each other. It's crazy. It's lunacy. It's fucking lunacy from Sebastian Vettel. I mean, him of all people,
right? Big
asshole in the Red Bull years.
Does he get Karen of the day almost? It's like the gaslighting is kind of Karenish.
Yes, Karen of the day goes to Sebastian Vettel, supporting the guy that only exists because he was supporting the guy who is now suffering at the hands of a guy that was created by him indirectly.
Yeah. I mean, everyone else is saying that it's Max for Karen of the day, but we're going to give it to Seb Vettel.
I admire the
unabashed,
just the bold-facedness of it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's just like, oh God, I gotta run this to the. It's like Giuliani with the voting machines.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, we got to go to the courts with this. Jeez, with Christian Horner, he's like, I want a full investigation into this, Christian, and Christian's like, oh God, Okay. Can you imagine being Christian having to defend this shit?
Right.
Okay, I gotta pretend that
I gotta
I'm
make
really upset about this thing.
printouts. Okay, fuck. Yeah, we could have just, I don't know, given the place back.
No, all these guys, because Max goes, it's unbelievable, and GP's like, yeah, it's ridiculous all the time. They always have to agree with them.
Radio of the day, I think, has to go to when LeClerc got that overtake on Russell done, and then Brian, his engineer, goes, "Nice one, Charles," and then he goes, "Thank you, Brian."
Yeah, what was that? Was it sarcastic?
I don't know. It was just like he was feeling himself, and he got the thing done, and he was just like, I really don't know what that was. It was just,
I mean, Leclerc really underrated drive there.
Yeah.
Who got driver of the day?
Great drive. I don't know, and I really don't care.
But he should have gotten
it. The day. Can I just say that I hate driver of the day?
I don't think that's a hot take at this point.
It's just like, can we just get rid of it altogether? Because it's just like, it's a thing that we have to talk about. Max Verstappen got driver of the day. Which is like,
because he dropped from one to he lost a plate, whatever. Yeah, I hate it. Fuck it. Never mind.
It shouldn't exist. Can a petition to get rid of driver of the day? Because Kimi Antonelli won one that was bullshit. Who won one last week that was?
See, this is why we're moving towards fascism all over the world, because democracy is fucking stupid.
But it's like
fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's not even I'm like, I guess anyone can vote once, but it's just like,
people can vote multiple times.
Oh yeah, there we go. So it's
probably a bunch of Dutch fans that felt really bad, like they're like this will make Max feel better.
Right. It's just like
Max is thrilled.
What it is annoying. Let's see, red flag of the day.
Sebastian Vettel.
I'm gonna give it to Pierre Gasly taking out our boy Yuki Tsunoda. What the hell are you thinking? Trying to pass him on the outside. Before we get into the rest of our stuff, dude, we put out our clip about Hogwarts, which drivers are in which houses, and Tom Felton, aka Draco Malfoy, commented on the clip. We got Draco in the chat. And what he said was that Tom Felton said that Lando Norris is actually a Slytherin. Because we said he was a Hufflepuff. And the ultimate Slytherin, the person who knows Slytherin maybe the best of anyone, says that Lando Norris is actually a Slytherin. What do you think about that?
I think it's wishful thinking. I think he obviously, because he's a Slytherin, he wants a cool guy like Lando in his group, but I don't think it's happening. I think he likes Lando, and therefore he wants Lando in the Slytherin gang. But Lando's Hufflepuff 100%, unless he does what we've been hoping for, a heel turn. Got to do a heel turn.
Like, there's maybe a Slytherin that lives inside Lando that he needs to let out.
There's a Slytherin that lives inside of all of us.
Of course.
There's
all have a bit of Slytherin in there.
We all have a bit of Slytherin in us. It's just some of us act on it.
That's right.
Some of us
all right.
Fire up our computer, hit record, and
that's right.
Become Slytherins.
And become Slytherin. So we assigned Gryffindor right now. We have Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Ollie Behrman. I think that Gasly is maybe actually Griff, but I think he's Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, cusp. Anyway, right now we got Lewis, Charles, Behrman in Gryffindor. We've got Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, and Lance Stroll in Slytherin. Hufflepuff, we've got Yuki Tsunoda.
I think Slytherin is an overrepresented group because they're killers.
Yeah. I think Slytherins do well in Formula One.
Yeah.
Hufflepuff, we've got Yuki Tsunoda, Pierre Gasly, and Lando Norris. And right now, in Ravenclaw, we only have Esteban Ocon. So I think we should assign the rest of the grid. We've got Alex Albon, Carlos Sainz, Hadjar, Antonelli, Liam Lawson, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Doohan. So what do you think, Alex Albon? I think
Hufflepuff.
Ravenclaw.
Hufflepuff.
I think Ravenclaw.
All right.
I hear you. I hear that.
He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy.
I hear that. He's kind of cuspy. But I think he's smart and kind of crafty as well.
Yeah. He's a bit broody, though. He's a bit broody. Let's put him in Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw.
All right, we got Albon and Ravenclaw. I think the ultimate Ravenclaw, Carlos Sainz.
Oh, yes.
Ultimate Ravenclaw.
He's an ultimate Ravenclaw.
Smart, always like makes the right move, like wins with his brain.
Yeah.
Like crafty dude. Isaac Hadjar.
I think he's a Gryffindor.
Yeah, I think he's Gryffindor or Hufflepuff, but I think he's so earnest that he's Gryffindor.
Yeah, I think he's Gryffindor.
I agree. Kimi Antonelli.
I was leaning Gryffindor, but he's just such a fucking nerd, I feel.
I think he's Ravenclaw.
I think he's Ravenclaw.
He
knows
knows
everybody's lap times. He's a Ravenclaw for sure.
Dude, he can pull out lap times from like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He'll be like, oh, yeah, I did a 21.4 in Monza in Formula 3.
But he's really brave.
Yeah.
So he might he's between a Ravenclaw and a Gryffindor, but I'm giving the Ravenclaw the edge because he seems very cerebral.
Liam Lawson.
Gryffindor.
Or Sliv.
I don't know. He seemed pretty like warm and nice when we met him.
That's true. No, when you meet him, he almost has like Hufflepuffy energy. But then like when it comes to the competition, that he's like kind of just like, I'm not here to make friends vibe. But maybe he's putting that on, that who he is actually is maybe more Gryffindor.
The hair is given Slytherin for sure.
The hair is full Slytherin, but yeah, I think you might be right. Maybe he is Griff. Maybe he's Gryffindor. Gabriel Bortoleto.
I couldn't tell you one thing about him.
I know. I don't really know anything about him either.
Other than he almost ran his manager. He almost killed his manager, which makes him my favorite driver.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm abstaining from this. Put it in the chat what you think Gabriel Bortoleto
I think probably a Griff. I mean, he won F2. But I don't know what that says about his personality.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know enough about him. Is he smart? Is he crafty? Is he brave?
Yeah.
Is he kind of evil? Not sure.
Yeah.
Is he silly? I don't think he's silly. I don't think he's a Hufflepuff. I'm leaning Ravenclaw, but I'm not sure. Nico Hulkenberg. I think Ravenclaw.
It's like what?
Or Gryffindor.
What house was the guy who's like the night watchman who's been there 1,000 years? What house is he in? Yeah, Jenny wrote he's a professor.
He's a professor with no house.
Yeah.
he went to a different school, but they've brought him in as like an adjunct.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck is your guys' this, fraternity?
I think he's a Ravenclaw, but I think he's a Ravenclaw.
I like him better as a professor with no
Who's
house.
Who's the bald guy with the long hair who's always like catching them running?
Oh, the custodian dude?
He's the custodian. He's the old. Hey, who goes there? He played. He was in Hot Fuzz. He had the accent that no one could understand.
Yeah, I mean, I love
Argus
that
Phil.
Argus. He was also in. He was the Red Wedding.
Yes, he was the guy in the Red Wedding. That's Hulkenberg.
And then Jack Doohan.
Only a Gryffindor would leave the DRS open to give it a shot.
Yes.
That's such a Gryffindor move. It's like that is because like the whole premise of Harry Potter is like they're always like, okay, so like don't go here.
Yeah.
Under like behind here like is certain death, and like 3 Gryffindors are like, let's go there. Hey, we're 12 years old. Let's go toe to toe with the evil.
Yeah.
And they're always like, Harry, please don't
chill.
This guy who's so evil.
Daddy,
we
chill.
don't even say his name. Okay.
Harry's
okay.
Harry's like, it worked on the simulator. It worked on the sim.
Yeah. They go, this guy, all he wants to do, his sole mission is he's got two goals: take over the world and kill you. And he's the most powerful wizard in the world. You're 12. He goes for it every time. Every book he goes for it.
Yeah.
Even when I was reading it, because I was Harry's age. I was 12 when he was 12. I'd read it. I'd be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Just
and then dating the guy who died, the ex-girlfriend of the guy.
Yeah, you're in the Goblet of Fire. Now Cedric is dead. You happy now? Jesus.
And then I guess I wanted maybe do Doohan's potential future replacement, Franco Colapinto.
Hufflepuff.
Big time Hufflepuff.
Big time Hufflepuff.
Big time Hufflepuff. All right, let's do our other favorite segment brought to you by Pelote. Let's talk about who was the best dressed from the Saudi Arabian GP. I mean, we had J-Lo in the paddock. I know she's not a driver, but J-Lo was in the paddock in a pink onesie. Pink, like, spandex leather onesie.
She looks like a Power Ranger.
She does look like a Power Ranger.
But it was crazy because I saw Anthony Anderson give out the fucking tire to Max. I was like, how much do you think they fucking paid to Anthony Anderson in Saudi Arabia?
They got money, baby. They got money. Fernando Alonso was looking pretty fresh in this all brown, like monochromatic getup that he had.
Looking like a dictator. I love it. If we threw
looking good.
If we threw some shoulder bands and like little tassels, that he looks like he should be running some kind of small dictatorship.
Yeah,
in Central America. That's what he looks like.
And the only thing that he needed to really make this outfit pop, then Pelote's shoes, dude.
Yeah.
Lando came in kind of hot with this kind of like embroidered jacket. I thought that was okay, but ultimately, honestly, I think we got to give it to Yuki Tsunoda in the all fucking white, dude, with the backwards hat. He just looks so good.
Oh my God, yeah, this is fresh.
People sleep on Yuki's fashion. I mean,
I think Lewis got to watch his ass.
Lewis does need to look out because Yuki just looks and like Yuki's proportions are so good. Like he's got the long legs, but he's got like the wide, like he does. Like he's actually got like great proportion, and he knows how to dress for them. Whereas like some of these guys, like they're so lanky.
The clothes are wearing them a little bit.
The clothes are wearing them. Like Yuki just looks fresh, and the only thing that would really make this outfit truly go from an A to an A+, some fresh Pelote shoes.
What do you don't like Liam's fit?
I like Liam's fit. It's bold. I think this. I think the shoes kind of make the fit. Is that little bit of like that combat boot?
Yeah.
But and with the sunglasses, I think that those have synergy between the top and bottom, and that works.
Yeah, no, I'm loving the khakis. I'm loving the tuck. I'm loving the shirt and the belt, and like all the creams kind of coalescing into a perfect little cream puff of a man.
Yeah, and then the black with the glasses and the black with the shoes kind of like sealed. They kind of package the whole thing together. So you should grab some Pelote shoes to heighten your outfit because Pelote shoes are made for performance on and off track. Their shoes are designed for heel-toe shifting, all-day comfort, and automotive-inspired style. A shoe for every fan, from the shift-driving shoe to the Icona lifestyle sneaker. They've got something for hard racers and casual enthusiasts alike. Go to pelote.com/discount/redflagsA25. All one word, and use Red Flags A25 at checkout for 15% off Pelote shoes. Okay, fuck, marry, kill this podium. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, and Charles Leclerc.
Killing Max, putting him out of his misery.
Yeah.
I am, because he was really, I couldn't be around that energy.
You're killing Max before he kills you.
Yeah.
It's just self-defense.
It's self-defense. I would get no time in prison for that. They'd be like, did you see him talking about the 5-second penalty? It was him or me. I am marrying Oscar Piastri because I don't want to deal with Leclerc's Michigas. The camera was loving Leclerc today.
LeClerc looked so good post-race.
I was like, stop showing me porn, please.
Dude, when they
It's a
were on the
family
close-up
show.
of him as he was like drinking the water bottle, I was like, this is NSFW. I'm sorry. This is not safe for work.
They should be worrying about all the sexual awakenings that are happening in front of the TV screen. This is like what was it for you? I can't even remember like who did
the sexual awakening?
Yeah, when did the sexual awakening happen?
Speaking of Harry Potter, Emma Watson was in there. I was in love with Emma Watson. I just
remember I'd find myself around certain girls in elementary school, and I'd be like, I would feel the need to talk really loud around them. I'm like, why do I want that? Why am I screaming around them?
Right.
And I still do it to this day. Just scream.
What about in culture? Because for me, it was Emma Watson and probably Britney Spears were my two.
Yeah, Britney Spears was a huge one.
Yeah.
Britney Spears was a huge one. I think Natalie Portman was huge. She was the first one.
You found out she was Jewish.
I found out she was, but she was the first one that I looked up the math. I was like, when I'm 18, how old will she be? Could it work out? Like, could we actually have a life together? And then I saw her give an Oscar speech, and I was like, that was kind of annoying, actually.
Yeah. You know who I was also in, like, my first ever, like, oh my God, I'm in love with this person thing in culture was also the girl in the Neverending Story.
I don't remember her.
It's like, the Neverending Story is like on like the snake dog, and he's like trying to like, I think like save the princess, and she's just like, will someone help me? And I was like, I'm in love with you. Like,
you know who was also porn? I remember watching, I'd be like, Lola Bunny. I'm like, what is happening?
Oh, well,
why is
that was a whole other ball game. I said, whoa.
Lola Bunny and Nala, Jesus.
Nala, dude. Nala. I was like, Nala's so hot. Why do I want Nala to be my girlfriend?
She was giving real hungry eyes to Simba all day.
Totally.
Oh,
I was like, Simba doesn't know how good he has it.
Lines.
Yeah, I'm going to kill Max in self-defense. I'm going to marry Oscar and One Night with Charles, because when I saw him drinking that water, I said, whoo, damn, that looks good. You just like seeing a well-built building or seeing a sunset, you're just like, well, I recognize the beauty. Yeah, we got Vanka Hours coming out on Wednesday. Chat with Gunter. Doing gas or brakes, see his interpretation of this race. We'll figure out what we're going to do for next week's episode. Make sure that you are subscribed if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're watching it if you're listening to us on wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you're subscribed there. And next race is going to be Miami. We're going to be in Miami. What are your predictions? Early predictions for the Miami GP?
Oscar Piastri. Let's fucking go.
Where's the rest? What's the rest of your podium?
Oscar Piastri, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris.
I think that Lando Norris makes the start of the comeback in Miami. He won there last year. I think he's going to be feeling good. Maybe get a little bit partying in his system. I think that Lando Norris needs a day on the boat with Martin Garrix.
Yeah.
And I think he might get that in Miami. I think he's got a week off.
Here's a question.
Lando Norris needs to go party, black out, break his nose, so he can come back refreshed and reset and be able to win a race again. That's really what he needs.
Here's a question, Brian. Do we think he'll be getting the Trump bump this year?
Oh my God. Will Trump be in Miami?
Yeah. He was. I mean, he wasn't he wasn't the president last time,
right?
Will he show up again? And will he tell Lando, like, "Don't let me down"?
I don't know. He might be like, he might not want to associate himself with Lando. He might be like, Oscar Piastri's
he's a loser.
He's a loser.
Chokes on the start.
He's mentally weak.
Yeah.
Mentally weak.
Yeah,
I said, wow, that guy's mentally weak.
What would that be? That would be his nickname for Lando. Oscar Piastri and mentally weak Lando.
Yeah. Oscar Piastri and crying Lando Norris, That Oscar Piastri, I mean, wow, that's a smart guy. I said, wow, he's smart. He's a smart guy, that Oscar Piastri. And he's really great. He's, people feel pressure. I know bad pressure. Oscar Piastri, he does it great. He does great, that Oscar Piastri. Cutting down on time, just like we're cutting down on spending. That's what what we're going to do.
Nobody thought Oscar would win, just like 2016. No one thought. And now look at him go. Now he's going to win by a landslide. Record amount of like the electoral college.
Record turnout. When he goes places, you've never seen crowds so big. Wow, I mean, wow, that's a big crowd. Okay, Venkas. I think Lando Norris is making the comeback. I think that Oscar Piastri is getting second, Max Verstappen getting third. That's what I think's happening in Miami, baby. We will see you. And if Venkas are going to be in Miami, we are going to be there. We'll do a meetup. Hopefully, we'll be doing some stuff with Gunter. Still TBD. But if you're going to be, all Venka Nation, if you're going to be in Miami, we'll see you there. Until next week, we love you, Venkas.
Goodbye, Vankas.
Oscar Piastri's going to win the championship. I'm telling you that right now.